I feel really good today. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, it's because the effects of the weed finally completely wore off and I finally feel like I'm myself again. Second of all, I had a relatively good night's sleep last night and I'm not fully rested, but I'm much more rested than I have been in a while. And the last couple of weeks have been pretty intense with the breathing issues and the coughing. So it's nice to be back to a place where I actually feel kind of good. Third reason is for exactly what I just said. Because the breathing is better, it's been slowly getting better for about, let's say today's the third day. And, first day I wasn't really sure. I'm like, maybe I'm just lucky. Second day, I'm like, okay, this seems like a good sign. And then today I feel like even better, which is good, but also kind of ironic I, because of everything I went through, and the breathing issues were really intense, and it was the holidays. I couldn't really, get through to anyone or get any help. I left a message with my pivot nurse that we she could get it when she got back. Turns out there was someone taking the messages for her while she was on vacation, and that person called me, and I explained the situation, and she's like, you know what? Since it's the lungs, just to be safe, come in on Monday. We'll do a scan just to make sure, that it's nothing serious, and if it is, then we can take care of it now. So went ahead this morning because, the timeline doesn't always fit with the videos because sometimes I record the video the day before. Sometimes, there's a few videos in advance where it's like I kind of slide a video in between two that I recorded before just because it makes more sense chronologically speaking. So anyway, as I'm recording this today, it's Monday. So I went to the hospital, just got back in fact, and they did a scan. Then I went to the oncology department, went to speak to my pivot nurse, waited for the results, and when she finally got them, she came and she's like, everything seems pretty stable. There was no sign of blood clot, there was no sign of fluid in your lungs, anything like that. So whatever it was, it's nothing to worry about. It might have just been a normal side effect of the disease. Maybe it was just some sort of viral infection. It wasn't a cold because I didn't have any other symptoms, just the breathing issues, especially at night, and increased coughing. I know it wasn't caused by me visiting my sister because she has dogs and cats. I know it wasn't caused by that, but it might have been slightly worsened by that. Anyway, all that to say, it's just ironic that it's like, I left a message, I don't know, 3, 4 days ago, and then they schedule this for Monday. It's like, yeah, okay, by the time they do a scan, I actually feel way better than I used to, which is ironic, and that's often how it happens. It's like, I wait till things are bad enough that I'm like, okay, something needs to be done. And then, by the time, we can actually. Okay, that was weird. Apparently, my gimbal just died. I guess it ran out of battery, so let me hold it for the rest of the time. uh, so, anyway, all that to say that it's good news today. I feel pretty good overall. But that's not the reason for this video. The main reason why I feel very good today is because something really awesome happened yesterday. And I'm going to go into the details in a couple seconds, but I just want to mention before I do that whatever ends up happening as a result of what I'm about to share is really not important. What's important is the signification or that sounded weird. The significance, there we go. I'm like, that doesn't quite sound right. So it's the significance behind what happened. So what happened is someone reached out to me. They asked to remain anonymous, so I'm going to respect that. I'm not going to say their name. But someone reached out to me, someone who I connected with as a result of creating this channel and sharing my story. And they asked me, like, what are your plans to go see your wife in the near future? I'm like, unfortunately, given my current health condition, doesn't seem that logical to travel. At least that was kind of like the last thing my doctor told me last time I saw him a couple weeks ago at the end of last year. Plus, I don't have the budget. So I kind of thought that was the end of it, but then that person responded, if you had the money, would you go? And I'm like, Well, yeah, of course. Like if my oncologist said I'm fit enough to travel and I have the money for the ticket and everything, like of course I would do it. So, a couple hours go by and then that person's like, "Hey, you know what? I want to pay for your ticket so you can go see your wife." And, the way they explain it's like it's something that they felt very strongly about that they felt like God wanted them to do for us. And first of all, I mean, I'm incredibly touched by that. That's someone that I've never actually met in real life that I have a few conversations with. And, they're a really awesome person. They've been going through and are still going through something very similar to what I'm going through. And, everyone's situation is different, obviously, but it's like the fact they're going through something, as intense as I am, or at least similarly intense, and they're going out of their way, literally like spending potentially thousands of dollars to help me go visit my wife is incredibly generous, and I feel incredibly grateful for that. But the fact that this person felt called to do that because they felt, hey, God is asking me to do this, that is the true important thing. And that's why I mentioned before, it's about the significance behind this. And if you've been following my last few videos, it's like I recently surrendered to God. I went through that process of saying farewell to my entire family in case, if I end up dying, at least I'll have no regrets. I'll have said what I had to say. And, then I went through the process of surrendering, and I'm basically like adrift, and I just have like complete faith in God that whatever is going to happen it's what's meant to happen. And just the fact that, this person senses, hey, God is asking me to do this for him and his wife, is a signal, a very clear signal from God. Hey, I want you two to be together. Now, there is the possibility that he wants us to be together one last time because he knows, hey, he's gonna die soon, but at least they get to be together one last time. That's a possibility. I don't want to make any assumptions, have any expectations. Whatever happens is exactly what's meant to happen, and I'm okay with that. But either way, the fact that God gave this person this clear indication of, hey, I want you to do this for these people, is a sign that God is trying to bring us together. And I see that as a very, very, very good sign, especially given everything that's happened recently. And it's just funny to me how, like, literally weeks ago, I surrendered to God. I went through that process of saying farewell to everyone, literally, like, surrendered all control. And it's like I have complete faith in God that whatever's meant to happen is exactly the right thing. And then this happens, and it's like whether I'm able to go visit my wife or not is irrelevant at this point. Obviously, I hope I can, but it's irrelevant because God has sent us a very, very clear signal that we're meant to be together, that he's trying to bring us together. So obviously there's a lot of reasons why this could not happen, because I have to check with my oncologist. I don't know what he's going to say, if I'm currently fit to travel or not. There's the fact that I'm about to start my new immunotherapy, and, now might not be the best time to travel because we're starting something new. And, given the fact the last few weeks has been very intense, I've had breathing issues and everything, and like, yeah, things are getting better, but it's like, am I good enough to travel? I don't know. So I have no way of knowing at this point whether I'm going to be able to travel in the near future, whether I'm going to be able to go see my wife. But just the fact that God, working through this person, has sent this clear signal, I want you to be together. I see that as a very, very, very good sign. And I know it doesn't really change anything in the grand scheme of things. It just feels good. Because, you always have doubts as part of the process. You wonder. And, it's just nice to see that it's kind of like God saying, like, hey, you did the right thing surrendering, giving up control. keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what feels right to you. Don't worry, I'm taking care of everything. That's what it feels like. And just to kind of come back to what I was saying before, like one of the other reasons why this trip could not happen or why it would be more difficult is like, okay, even if this person pays the flight for the flight there and back, it's like, okay, I still need to pay for my apartment over there. I still need to pay for expenses such as food and travel while there and stuff like that. So it's like, whenever I go visit my wife, it's basically like around $3,000 for the entire trip. That varies slightly depending on how much time I spend there, but that seems to kind of be the average that I've seen so far. But it's like, hey, sorry, just an alarm going off on my phone. Let me stop that. Okay, so it's just the fact that it's like God is sending me a signal. It's like, hey, I want you two to be together. If it's meant to happen now, well, okay, he already through this person offered me the plane tickets. If this is what's meant to happen, he's going to find a way to provide so financially my wife and I can afford, to stay over there, me to stay over there, and us to, do what we need to do while we're there or while I'm there. So it's like, I don't really worry about that. And at the end of the day, it's like, if this trip doesn't happen or not now, maybe, could be delayed by a couple months until I'm better physically. Um, Whatever ends up happening, I'm okay with that. I still have full faith. Whatever's meant to happen will happen. It was just very, very cool to have that very clear sign from God of like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. I'll take care of you. So thank you for watching. And in case you were wondering what that alarm was, it was for my pizza and I'm starting to smell it. I don't want it to burn, so let me end the video here and I'll talk to you in the next video. And I missed the button.